Over the following days as negotiations continued, Xylara stopped hiding her crest. She wore it proudly displayed, much to the shock of her court. When questioned, she simply stated, "If humans can see beauty in difference, perhaps we have much to learn." From them word spread throughout the Vexidian Empire about the princess who embraced her differences. Young Vexidians with genetic variations who had hidden away began to emerge, showing their unique features with pride. A cultural shift began slowly. At first then, gathering momentum on the final day of negotiations, Xylara and Lisa signed not only a mining treaty, but also a cultural exchange program that would bring humans and Vexidians together to learn from each other. As Lisa prepared to depart, Xylara approached her without attendance. "You have changed things here, Ambassador," with just a few words. Lisa shook her head. "I only spoke the truth, Your Highness. You are beautiful. Difference isn't something to hide, it's something to celebrate." The princess extended her hand in the human gesture of friendship. "When my ancestors first encountered humans, they feared your kind would bring destruction, but instead you brought perspective. Perhaps that human DNA in my lineage isn't a flaw, but a gift. A reminder that our peoples are stronger together than apart." Lisa took her hand. "The universe is vast and full of wonders, Your Highness. Sometimes it takes a different set of eyes to truly see them." 6 months later, Lisa returned to Vexidia, this time leading a delegation of human scientists, artists, and educators. The cultural exchange program had been approved by both governments and was ready to begin. She marveled at how much had changed in such a short time. The spaceport was now filled with Vexidians, of all types. Some had 10 eyes, others had varied crest patterns and colors, some even displayed skin tones that ranged from deep blue to almost purple. Previously, these variations would have been hidden. Now they were visible for all to see. Krell greeted her at the landing pad. His formal demeanor had softened somewhat. "Welcome back, Ambassador Martinez. The princess awaits you at the new Cultural Exchange Center." The center was a magnificent structure built of crystal and metal that bridged Vexidian and human architectural styles. Inside, Vexidians and humans mingled freely, examining art displays and scientific exhibits. Lisa spotted Xylara immediately. The princess now wore special garments designed to highlight her crest, rather than hide it. The royal guards around her also displayed their genetic variations openly. Lisa Ambassador Xylara crossed the room quickly, her 12 eyes blinking with excitement. "You must see what we've accomplished." The princess led her through the center, proudly displaying cooperation between their species. A group of human musicians played alongside Vexidian sound artists, creating harmonies never before heard. A team of scientists from both worlds worked on environmental projects to benefit shared territories. Most striking was a new medical center where doctors studied the beneficial aspects of human Vexidian genetic combinations. Something that had once been viewed as contamination was now being explored as potential evolution. "Your words sparked something in our people," Xylara explained. "We began questioning why we feared difference for so long. Our scientists discovered that those with mixed genetics often have unique abilities. The 12-eyed among us can see energy patterns invisible to others. Those with pronounced crests have enhanced sensory perception. These were never flaws. They were evolutionary advantages." Lisa smiled. "This is incredible." "Your Highness." Xylara led her to a private chamber where a group of young Vexidians waited. Each displayed varied genetic features that would have been hidden months before. These children were once outcasts kept from public view. Now they are students in our first integrated school. They will learn alongside human children. One young Vexidian approached Lisa shyly. Her skin was lighter blue than others, and she had 11 eyes arranged in an asymmetrical pattern. "My name is Tala," she said in careful English. "I wish to thank you for helping our princess see her beauty. Now I can see mine." Lisa knelt to meet the child's eyes at her level. "You are beautiful, Tala. Never let anyone tell you otherwise." The princess watched this exchange, her posture reflecting pride. As the children were led away to meet their human counterparts, she turned to Lisa. "There is resistance, of course. Change never comes without opposition. The old noble houses particularly fear what this means for our traditions. but they cannot deny the benefits we've already seen from embracing our differences. The younger generation especially has embraced this new thinking. Lisa nodded. It's the same on Earth. Change takes time, but each generation builds on the progress of the last. A distant boom shook the building, causing crystal fixtures to vibrate. Alarms began to sound. Security personnel rushed into the room surrounding the princess. What was that? Lisa asked. Alarmed. Zylara looked concerned. We must go now. Security breach. Princess Zylara of the Vexidian Empire stared at her reflection in the polished crystal surface before her. The 12 eyes that dotted her blue-scaled face blinked in sequence as they always did. She turned her elongated head slightly to examine the bony crest that ran from her forehead down her back. Her people considered such features signs of genetic impurity. Something to be hidden away. Zylara had always known she was different. The royal bloodline of Vexidia was supposed to maintain perfect genetic cohesion with exactly 8 eyes and smooth crests. But some ancient human DNA had entered their royal line centuries ago, when the first contact occurred. Some whispered this made her unfit to rule, though none dared say it to her. Faced today, representatives from Earth would arrive to negotiate a new mining treaty. The humans had proven themselves surprisingly resourceful allies, despite being physically fragile with their soft pink skin and mere 2 eyes. Zylara had studied their culture extensively, but never met one in person. She adjusted her formal royal cloak, ensuring it covered most of her crest. Lisa Martinez stepped off the shuttle onto the crystal platform of the Vexidian royal palace. The Earth diplomat smoothed her uniform and took a deep breath. The gravity here was slightly lighter than Earth, making her feel almost buoyant. Her mission was straightforward: negotiate fair mining rights in the asteroid belt that separated their territories. The royal advisor, Krell, met her at the entrance. His 8 eyes regarded her with what she assumed was curiosity. Though Vexidian facial expressions remained largely unreadable to humans, "We are honored by your presence, Ambassador Martinez. The princess awaits in the Grand Hall. Please follow the protocol we transmitted. You must not look directly at her crest. It is considered inappropriate." Lisa nodded, though she found the request strange. The briefing materials had mentioned nothing about avoiding eye contact with royal crests. She followed Krell through winding corridors of luminescent crystal that hummed with strange energies. The palace seemed alive somehow, responding to the movements of those within it. The grand hall opened before them, a vast chamber, with a ceiling that appeared to contain actual stars floating in darkness. Lisa wondered if it was an illusion, or if the Vexidians had somehow captured pieces of space itself. The princess sat upon a raised platform, her form partially obscured by elaborate robes and shimmer veils. "Ambassador Martinez approaches, Your Highness." Krell announced with a series of clicking sounds that the translation implant rendered into English. Lisa bowed exactly as instructed. "Princess Zylara, I bring greetings from Earth, and our sincere desire to strengthen the bonds between our peoples." The princess gestured for Lisa to approach. Something about her movement seemed hesitant, almost shy, which contradicted everything Lisa had read about the confident Vexidian royalty. When Lisa drew closer, she could see why. The princess had 12 eyes, not the standard 8 of Vexidian nobility, and her crest was pronounced, rippling with iridescent colors that caught the starlight from above. Lisa suddenly understood why she had been told not to look at the crest. It was a courtesy to allow the princess to hide what her people considered a flaw. "You may speak freely," Ambassador Zylara said, her voice melodic despite the translator. "The mining rights are important to both our peoples." They discussed terms for nearly an hour. Lisa found the princess to be intelligent and fair in her proposals, but she noticed how Zylara kept adjusting her cloak to better hide her crest, how she seemed to flinch whenever one of her attendants glanced her way. During a brief recess in negotiations, Lisa approached the princess while her advisors were consulting star charts. "May I speak personally, Your Highness?" Lisa asked. Zylara tilted her head in what Lisa recognized as their version of curiosity. "You may. I hope this isn't inappropriate, but I must say your crest is absolutely beautiful. The colors remind me of the aurora borealis on Earth. It's like you're wearing the northern lights." All 12 of the princess's eyes widened simultaneously. "Beautiful," You find it beautiful? Of course, Lisa said, genuinely confused. Why would anyone think otherwise? Zylara was silent for a long moment. The attendants nearby had frozen, looking shocked at this exchange. On Vexidia, my features are considered signs of impurity, proof that our royal line was tainted by human DNA long ago. Many believe I am unworthy to rule because of it. Lisa frowned. That seems rather unfair. Judging someone by physical characteristics rather than their abilities or character. The concept seemed to puzzle Zylara. But it is different. It is not pure Vexidian. Different isn't bad. Lisa said, your unique features make you who you are. On Earth, we have a saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What one person finds unattractive, another may find breathtaking. The princess removed her cloak entirely for the first time, allowing her full crest to be visible. The bony ridge shimmered with colors that seemed to shift and flow like liquid rainbows. The attendants gasped, but Zylara ignored them. No one has ever called me beautiful before, she said quietly. Then your people have been missing something wonderful, Lisa replied, smiling. Guards rushed Lisa and Zylara through hidden corridors beneath the Cultural Exchange Center. Alarms continued to blare throughout the complex. What happened? Lisa asked, as they hurried along crystalline tunnels that pulsed with emergency lighting. Extremists. Zylara replied, her voice tight. Not everyone embraces change, Ambassador. Some believe our traditions must be preserved at any cost. They call themselves the Purists. They emerged in a secure chamber deep beneath the palace. Screens displayed chaos. At the center where the explosion had occurred, Vexidian security forces were evacuating humans and Vexidians alike. Lisa watched with horror as she saw injured people being carried out. How many delegates were hurt? She demanded. Unknown at this time, Captain Drez reported a tall Vexidian with military bearing. The bomb was placed near the eastern entrance, away from the main gathering. Casualties appear minimal, but we are still assessing. Lisa sagged with relief. Thank goodness. Then anger replaced her fear. This was a deliberate attack on the exchange program. Precisely. Princess Zylara said, her 12 eyes narrowing in sequence. The Purists have been vocal in their opposition, but this marks their first violent action. They seek to frighten humans away to end our cooperation. Zylara turned to her security chief. Captain, deploy additional forces to protect all human visitors and any Vexidians displaying genetic variations. The Purists will target them first. Lisa stepped forward. I need to contact Earth immediately. They must know what happened, but also that we remain committed to the program. A communication array was activated, allowing Lisa to speak with Earth officials. She explained the situation, emphasizing that this appeared to be the work of a fringe group not sanctioned by the Vexidian government. Earth officials were concerned but agreed to continue the program with enhanced security. When the call ended, Zylara approached Lisa. I apologize for this violence. It shames our people. Lisa shook her head. No, Your Highness, this isn't your fault. Extremists exist in every society. On Earth, we have faced similar resistance to change throughout our history. What matters is how we respond. The princess straightened her posture, her crest flaring with determination. We will not hide, we will not retreat. The program continues. Over the next several days, security was heightened throughout the capital. Investigations identified several Purist cells operating within the city. Some were apprehended, others went into hiding. The cultural exchange activities resumed, but with a tense atmosphere. Lisa found herself working closely with Zylara to manage the crisis. They spent long hours together reviewing security measures and planning how to move forward. During these sessions, Lisa learned more about Vexidian culture, and Zylara, in turn, asked endless questions about Earth. One evening, as they reviewed plans for reopening the damaged section of the center, Zylara paused. Her work. Why do humans adapt so easily to change, Lisa? The Purists fear it above all else, yet humans seem to embrace it. Lisa considered the question. For much of our history, we resisted change too. Many human conflicts centered around fear of difference. But we learned sometimes painfully that diversity makes us stronger, not weaker. Our varied perspectives help us solve problems in ways a homogeneous society never could. Zalara tilted her head. In my studies of Earth history, I read about your world, wars, your civil rights movements. Lisa nodded. We made terrible mistakes, but we learned from them, each generation working to be better than the last. It's still not perfect, but we're trying. The princess was silent for a moment. Then why help us? Why share this perspective when you could have simply negotiated mining rights and left us to our traditions? Because that's what humans do, Lisa said with a small smile. We connect, we share, we learn. And honestly, Your Highness, I couldn't stand seeing you hide your beautiful crest because of some outdated prejudice. All 12 of Zylara's eyes blinked in synchrony, a sign of deep emotion in Vexidians. You humans are remarkable creatures, so physically fragile, yet so strong in spirit. Their conversation was interrupted by Captain Drez entering with new intelligence reports. We have located the main Purist stronghold, Your Highness. They occupy an abandoned mining outpost in the Kralex Mountains. Our forces are preparing to move against them. How many, Zylara? Asked. Approximately 200. Majesty, many from noble houses, including. She hesitated. Lord Vex, your cousin Zylara showed no surprise. My cousin has always been the most vocal about genetic purity. Not unexpected, Lisa studied the tactical displays. This won't end with a military solution, Your Highness. Even if you capture these purists, their ideas will persist. The princess turned to her. What would humans do? We would try to understand them. Lisa replied. Find common ground. See if dialogue is possible. Violence should be the last resort, not the first. Captain Drez made a dismissive sound. The purists will not listen to reason. They have already shown their preference for violence. Perhaps, Lisa said. But sometimes the hardest voices to hear are the ones we most need to listen to. Zylara considered this, then made her decision. We will attempt communication first. Captain, prepare a delegation, but be ready should they refuse. Lisa looked at her with concern. You can't go yourself. It's too dangerous. All 12 of the princess's eyes fixed on her. I must, Ambassador. They need to see what they fear, what they hate. They need to see me standing proud with my differences on display. It may be our only chance for true peace. Lisa found herself aboard a Vexidian transport ship heading toward the Kralex Mountains. Despite strong objections from both Earth and Vexidian security teams, she had insisted on accompanying Princess Zylara to meet with the purists. If you're going, I'm going, she had told the princess firmly. This cultural exchange goes both ways. If you're willing to risk yourself for peace, then Earth should stand beside you. The transport hummed with energy as it cut through thick cloud layers. The mountain range came into view, jagged peaks of dark stone veined with glowing mineral deposits. Somewhere in those mountains the purists waited. Captain Drez approached them. Both Vexidian and human security teams are prepared, Your Highness. But I must register my objection one final time. This meeting places you at unnecessary risk, Zylara nodded. I hear your concern, Captain, but sometimes a ruler must take risks for her people. The transport landed on a flat plateau near the abandoned mining facility. Scanners confirmed purist forces had gathered inside. As agreed, both sides would send only 5 representatives to the meeting point. A neutral zone between their positions. Lisa checked her translation implant, making sure it was functioning properly. She watched as Zylara removed her ceremonial cloak, fully exposing her crest and all 12 eyes. Are you ready, Ambassador? The princess asked. As ready as I'll ever be. Lisa replied. They walked side by side toward the meeting point, flanked by 3 Vexidian guards. From the opposite direction came 5 Vexidians, all displaying the classic 8-eyed appearance and smooth crests of traditional nobility. Their leader was immediately recognizable. Lord Vex, the princess's cousin. His posture radiated contempt. Cousin, Zylara called. You dishonor our bloodline by flaunting your impurities. Zylara stood tall. I dishonor nothing. Cousin, I simply exist as I am. The dishonor comes from those who would bomb innocent people for the crime of being different. Lord Vex hissed, a sound the translator didn't convert. You bring humans to our sacred mountains, now you even speak like them. Think like them. You are corrupted beyond redemption. I am evolved. Xylara replied. Not corrupted. Change is not destruction. Vex, it is growth. Our people have always prided themselves on wisdom. Why fear new perspectives? New Lord Vex spat. These ideas corrupt the very essence of what it means to be Vexidian. For 10,000 years we have maintained genetic purity power through consistency. Then humans came with their chaos, their disorder. Now look at our capital. Young ones proudly displaying their mutations like badges of honor. Lisa stepped forward. Lord Vex. If I may, on Earth, we once feared genetic variation too. We called it mutation, as you do. But we discovered that variation is the engine of evolution. Without it, species stagnate, eventually die. The purest leader turned all 8 eyes toward her. This is not Earth human. This is Vexidia. Our ways have served us for millennia. Have they really? Xylara challenged. How many children were hidden away because they did not match your ideal? How many contributions to our society lost because someone had 9 eyes or a different colored crest? I was fortunate to be born royal. Otherwise, I too would have been discarded. This seemed to strike a nerve among the other purists. One shifted uncomfortably. Let me ask you something. Cousin Xylara continued softly. How many in your own ranks hide variations Lord Drex there has he shown you? What lies beneath his ceremonial collar? A red crest, perhaps? The purist named Drex stiffened visibly. You see, Lisa said gently, even among those who claim to value purity, there is diversity. It cannot be escaped. It should not be feared. Lord Vex seemed unmoved. Your human platitudes mean nothing here. You spread this corruption like a disease. Perhaps it's time for a demonstration, Xylara said. She turned to her guards. Bring forward the medical data. One guard activated a holographic display showing genetic sequences. The Vexidian genome appeared alongside various mutations and the human genome. Our scientists have been studying these variations. Xylara explained. Those with my particular pattern of 12 eyes can perceive energy flows invisible to traditional Vexidians. Those with pronounced crests have enhanced sensory perception. These are not flaws. They are evolutionary advantages. She gestured toward another display. This shows population statistics. Over the past 5 centuries, our birth rates have declined. Our resistance to certain pathogens has weakened. Genetic diversity is not our downfall. It is our salvation. Lisa watched the purists closely. Some seemed interested in the data. Others remained stone-faced. But she noticed Lord Vex was not looking at the display at all. He was staring at Xylara's crest with an expression Lisa couldn't quite read. Your own medical records, Vex. Xylara said quietly. You sought treatment last year for sensory degradation, did you not? A condition becoming common among the most genetically pure families. How dare you access my private records? Lord Vex hissed. I am your princess. Xylara replied. I dare much to save our people even from themselves. We stand at a crossroads. Cousin, continue down your path, and watch our species slowly decline or embrace change adaptation even if it frightens you. The choice is yours. But know this, I will not allow violence against my people, pure or varied. We are all Vexidian. Lord Vex stood silent for a long moment, his 8 eyes unblinking. The other purists looked to him, waiting for his response. Lisa held her breath, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, Vex spoke, his voice low. Our ancestors would weep to see what we have become. Perhaps Xylara replied. Or perhaps they would marvel at our evolution. You speak of tradition. Cousin, but you forget. Our oldest teaching. Adaptation ensures survival. One of the other purists, a female named Xylara, stepped forward. The medical data. Your Highness, may we examine it more closely? Our own scientists have noticed the decline you mentioned, but we attributed it to other factors. Xylara nodded. Of course, all data will be made available for independent verification. We seek truth, not propaganda, for over an hour. The groups remained on the plateau discussing the research. Gradually, the conversation shifted from hostile accusations to cautious questions. Lisa watched in amazement as the purists, except for Lord Vex, began engaging with the information. Not all were convinced, some remained firmly opposed to change, but cracks had appeared in their unified stance. Doubt had entered where certainty once ruled. As the meeting concluded, Lord Vex approached Xylara directly. "We will review your data, cousin. But know this, our concerns remain. The path you choose threatens thousands of years of tradition. I cannot accept it so easily." The princess met his gaze. "I do not ask for easy acceptance, cousin, only open consideration. Change need not mean destruction of all that came before. Perhaps there is a middle path, one that honors our history while embracing our future." Vex made a gesture of formal acknowledgement, though his posture remained stiff. "We will withdraw our forces from this region. A temporary truce while we consider. This is all I can offer. It is enough for now," Xylara replied. As the purists departed, Captain Drez approached. "This changes nothing, Your Highness. They will regroup, perhaps strike again." Xylara shook her head. "It changes everything, Captain. Did you not see? Even Lord Drex was questioning his beliefs by the end. The seeds of doubt have been planted. We must now give them time to grow." On the transport returning to the capital, Lisa sat beside the princess. Both were exhausted by the tense negotiations. "You know this isn't over," she said quietly. Xylara turned all 12 eyes toward her. "Nothing worth doing is ever finished in a single day, Ambassador. Changing hearts and minds takes time. Perhaps generations. But today we made a beginning." When they returned to the capital, they found the Cultural Exchange Center already reopened. Vexidians and humans worked side by side repairing damage from the bombing. Young Vexidians with varied appearances moved freely among the crowd. Lisa noticed something she hadn't before. Many older Vexidians who had previously hidden their variations now displayed them openly. An elderly female with 9 eyes sat speaking with human children about Vexidian history. A male with a purple-tinted crest demonstrated traditional art techniques. They were always there. Xylara said, noticing Lisa's observation, simply hiding their whole lives spent in shame. Now they emerge like flowers after a long winter. 6 months later, Lisa stood on the observation deck of an Earth ship preparing to depart Vexidia. Her diplomatic mission was complete. A replacement ambassador would arrive soon to continue the cultural exchange program. She watched the crystal spires of the capital city gleaming in the light of twin suns. A small transport approached the ship. Princess Xylara had come to say goodbye personally. She boarded without ceremony, finding Lisa at the observation window. "I received word this morning," the princess said. "The purists have formally requested to join the dialogue on genetic diversity. They still have concerns, but they wish to be part of the conversation rather than opposed to it." Lisa smiled. "That's wonderful news." Your Highness, Xylara nodded. Lord Vex remains stubborn, but even he has agreed to review the scientific evidence without prejudice. Small steps, but important ones. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the city below. "Your people gave mine a great gift," Lisa the princess said finally. "Not just the perspective on beauty, though, that sparked everything, but something more precious. You showed us how to question our assumptions, how to look at ourselves through new eyes." Lisa turned to her friend. The gift went both ways. "Your Highness on Earth, we still struggle with accepting difference. I hope the stories from Vexidia will help us continue our own journey." The princess removed a small crystal pendant from her neck and placed it in Lisa's hand. "This contains our full history. The true history, including all we hid about genetic variation across our civilization. Share it with your people. Let our mistakes and our growth serve others." Lisa accepted the gift with reverence. "I will." When Xylara prepared to depart, she performed the traditional Vexidian farewell, but then added a human handshake. "Until we meet again, Ambassador Lisa Martinez. May your eyes always see beauty where others see only difference." Lisa smiled. Until we meet again. Princess Zylara, may your 12 eyes continue to help others see clearly. As the Earth ship pulled away from Vexidia, Lisa watched the planet grow smaller in the viewport. The crystal cities sparkled like jewels against the blue and green landscape. She thought about how a simple comment about beauty had transformed an entire civilization. Sometimes the greatest changes begin with the smallest words, she thought. Sometimes all it takes is seeing through different eyes. The crystal pendant felt warm in her hand. Inside it, the history of Vexidia, and the story of a princess who learned to see her own beauty, a story she would share with Earth. A reminder that across the vast universe, different didn't mean wrong, it simply meant new possibilities waiting to be discovered.